Another part of your book, or DVD, you mention or deal with Zionism. I know there's a lot of confusion about Zionism. When you say Zionist, people think, well, that's not too good a people. But what is Zionism, and what part is it playing there in the Middle East?
Well, that is a very complicated question, and I wish to address that question with the utmost respect and care. Because the moment you say Zionism, people look at you and they say, oh, he's an anti-Semite, right? And I can tell you that is not the case. Let me tell you right off the bat, as a Bible-believing Christian, I reject replacement theology, and I also can tell people that the Jews are God's chosen people. However, as soon as I say that, I ask people a question. Has there ever been a time in Israel's history where the people of Israel or the rulership of Israel has ever gotten into the occult? And the answer has to be yes. I don't see how you can read the Bible and not conclude that. So I tell people, well, my perspective on Israel is that it is a cup of trembling, as Jeremiah says. It is a burdensome stone. And God is going to use the tension behind Israel, which is only going to get worse in the future, to accomplish what he needs to accomplish. So now that I've said that, I'm going to identify what Zionism is. Zionism is a social movement which creates and sustains the physical nation of Israel. And Zionism is also the driver for world government through Israel in the tradition of the heretical Frankist Jews. And identify what the Frankist Jews are in the DVD, and that is a necessary precursor to understand what Zionism is. And they also make a third point, which is that Zionism is embodied by the Rothschild family. So in other words, Zionism is all about those Jews which have gone from faith in God to faith in the law to faith in themselves. And unless people understand that, they'll never understand what is going on in the Middle East. Now, I'm not going to suggest for 1 minute that all Jews are political Zionists and, all Zionists are Jews. That's not the case. Many members in the Christian church community can state that Israel does no wrong and has never done any wrong. And I simply say, back that up with Scripture. You can't. And the final identifier of Zionism is this. The Zionist movement feeds off Jews in the same way that the Nazi movement fed off Germans. In other words, the Zionist movement is a political movement which is more than happy to eat its own. And I have to state this. The Zionists had no problem in cooperating with the Nazi regime to start and encourage the Holocaust to generate world sympathy so that Israel could be created. And I understand that's quite the intense claim, but I back that up with several Jewish sources.